It's not Monday. It's not Tuesday. It's not Wednesday. Yes! It's Thursday.
It's okay, Scrady.
Thirsty Thursday.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene, my very best friend, Pat McCurdy, with his version of the Thursday song, an abridged version. Got to see him last Saturday night after the Christmas Story film. We took an Uber from the Pabst Theater to a sports bar in Hales Corners, Wisconsin. One of those little suburbs in Milwaukee.
And that's where Pat was performing?
I had never been there. I looked it up on, Facebook to see what it was like. We had seen, because we were going to the Christmas Story thing, and I said, what else can we do while we're in Milwaukee? You know what I mean? I said, what time is the movie? And we figured it would be over by 9:30, 10 o'clock, and Pat started playing at 9 at this place called Double D's. And so I said, hey, why don't we, it's 15 minutes, why don't we get an Uber? We'll go over see Pat. And, of course, we surprised him. He's like, what? He's in the middle of a song, and he's like, what the hell are you two doing here? And the whole place was packed. It was crazy. And, it was fun. We had a good time there. Kind of treated like royalty. Everybody, people were like, you drove all the way here from La Crosse to see Pat? And I'm like, no. I said,
no.
We were in Milwaukee for something else, and and he kept including us in all the song. And, I don't think he plays there very often, so it was not a crowd that he's used to. And so he kind of leaned on us for, a focal point. And all these people thought we were, with Pat, which, whatever. But it was fun, and he played a lot of good tunes.
And Milwaukee was good. You drank some good beers and had some good times.
There was, again, ups and downs. The hotel was just an absolute horror show. I cannot say enough bad things about this hotel. It was such... Every time I think about it, I get angry. I can't control my emotions.
0 stars. You can write a review. That's what
if there was a possibility to give them negative stars and make someone else buy the hotel, demolish it, and build something better, I would opt for that on Google. It was so effing bad, so bad.
That'll happen.
I couldn't believe, and it's not some rinky-dink mom and pop side of the road place. You know what I mean?
It's legit.
Where someone got murdered a couple of years ago. No, this is a legitimate chain hotel in downtown Milwaukee, right by the theater district, and you're thinking, oh, we'll be fine. Nope. Not even close. I can't stop bitching about it. I can't. And then you brought it up today, and I was like, anyways, we got a lot of other stuff going on.
It's a brand new year.
Yeah, it's a brand new year. We'll recap, obviously, Jean's back, and we'll recap her holiday and New Year. Talk about bowl games, obviously, bowls. Going to play someone's effing song in just a bit, courtesy of Nikki Paisley, and we got a new Karen of the day to get to. I don't think our friend Cora is going to join us. I think she's off, right?
I believe so.
Okay, so no office Cora this week, but we'll get back to reality next week as everybody's sort of done with the holidays and back on the time clock. So if you need something, rockmornings.com. It's going to be about 24 today with some clouds. And then dipping into the teens over the next several days.
Significantly cooler in the single digits at night.
I wouldn't say cooler, colder. I would say colder. We're talking single digits during the overnight for the next couple of nights. So be prepared, as Frankie McDonald would say. 3 Days Grace and some AC/DC coming up.
More of your Rock Mornings coming up in just a bit.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Very cold over the next few days. High temps in the teens during the day, and then down into the single digits during the overnight. Looking at 24 today with some clouds. Obviously, the big news is the just awful tragedy in New Orleans. 15 people killed, dozens injured. Driver ramming his pickup truck into a crowd on Bourbon Street. This is it happened at about 3 o'clock in the morning, so it was even later than the New Year's Eve celebration at midnight, but obviously, there's a ton of news about this guy.
A time of joy and celebration quickly turns into a nightmare on Bourbon Street.
Some said to come out and pray, and I did. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to break down like this. This is hard.
It all started at 3:15 a.m. The FBI says this pickup truck plowed into a big crowd as they ushered in the new year. 15 people were killed and at least 30 were injured, some critically.
I look at the young lives that were lost, who were not expecting it, who count on us to protect them, and the fact that they came down just to celebrate what's to come, what's going to come forward in the new year, literally broke my heart.
After hitting the crowd, investigators say the driver got out of the truck and shot at officers. An exchange of gunfire ensued, and the suspect was shot to death. 2 officers were injured and taken to the hospital. Around 3:45 a.m., authorities found a homemade bomb near police cars parked on Bourbon Street. 4:45 a.m., another suspicious item was found in the French Quarter. 11 a.m., the FBI confirms the incident as an act of terrorism. 1 p.m., FBI identifies the suspect as 42-year-old Shamsud Din Jabbar, a U.S. citizen from Texas.
The suspect killed in the firefight with officers had an ISIS flag on the vehicle at the time of the attack. Also made a series of videos before the attack in which he said he had joined ISIS. The vehicle rented through a company called Turo. It appears the explosive devices that this guy made were made at an Airbnb that was rented out for that purpose. And the scary part is that this guy apparently did not act alone. They think that there may be some other people, and obviously they're going to continue to investigate this whole thing. But that Turo website also responsible for the Cybertruck that blew up outside of Trump's Vegas hotel.
Right, which they're saying is not... There's no correlation there, but they're...
I don't think there's a correlation between the two, but I think it's still a similar situation where it wasn't just like an accident where the truck blew up. It was, firework mortars, camp fuel canisters, all found stuffed into the back of this Tesla Cybertruck that exploded outside of Donald Trump's Vegas hotel on Wednesday, killing a suspect inside the vehicle and sparking an intense investigation into possible terrorism. Obviously, not a whole lot in that one right now, but the person died inside of the Cybertruck. 7 people nearby suffering minor injuries. By late yesterday, authorities still working to get the body out of the vehicle and start processing the evidence. Joe Biden briefed on the explosion, but they're obviously going to continue to investigate that. In New York City and Queens, 10 people injured. A lot of teenagers, apparently. This is in a mass shooting outside of a nightclub in Queens last night. A group of 4 men firing at least 30 gunshots into a crowd that had gathered near the Amazura nightclub in Jamaica just before 11:20. So, private event. Sounds like they might have known who was inside and wanted to hit specific people, but it sounds like 6 females, 4 males, all ranging in age from 16 to 20, struck by bullets. Nobody killed, though. Police are searching for a light-colored sedan in connection with that shooting. And we also had our very own shooting here in Wisconsin. You were off. I'm sure you saw it. The New Lisbon shooting.
Yeah, of course.
That guy's still on the loose. They're still looking for him. New Lisbon police saying that 2 juveniles and 1 adult were found dead on Monday at a home in the city. Virgil Thu, identified as a person of interest in that case. The update came on Tuesday. Police said they were notified by the Monroe County Sheriff's Office Sunday about a missing juvenile. That juvenile was last seen with Thu, who lives in New Lisbon. And while searching for the juvenile, New Lisbon police learned that a second one from New Lisbon had also gone missing. Police worked with the juvenile's parents as well as other law enforcement agencies to continue the search, and then they ended up at that house where they found the 3 dead bodies, and now they're on
and everybody's terrified in that in that community.
It doesn't sound like he left the area. It sounds like he might be in that vicinity still. But obviously, they again continue to reiterate: if you see Virgil Thu or you think you see him, do not try to come in contact with him. He's considered armed and dangerous, and call authorities right away.
Mm-hmm.
But just a kind of a really awful, horrific way to start the new year nationwide.
Yeah,
when you think of all the stuff that's going on.
Obviously waking up yesterday and hearing the news in New Orleans was gut-wrenching start to everything. So.
Yeah, obviously, because of that, a lot of things changing. Yesterday, they had to reschedule the Sugar Bowl and the Super Bowl. The NFL coming out with a statement about the security for the Super Bowl, which is going to be there in February. And, awful. 3 o'clock in the morning, you're down there having some drinks, you're celebrating the new year, and some psycho terrorist goes plowing through the crowd. Awful. Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We'll get to sports in just a couple of minutes. And again, if you need something, find us online at rockmornings.com. Here's the latest from 3 Days Grace.
Rock Mornings. On air, online, on the app.
AC/DC with Hell's Bells on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Oh, boy. So many bowl games. I haven't hit one friggin' number on either of my boards.
No way, really? Nothing?
No. I think 8. Looks like 8. I've got 8 games so far, and I haven't hit one number. Ugh. That's $30 down the drain. Bucks over the Pacers on Tuesday night, 120-112. Bucks are at home against Brooklyn tonight at 7 p.m. Badger men's basketball returns tomorrow night from the holiday break. They will be hosting Iowa at 6 o'clock on FS1. Number 5 over number 4. Texas beating Arizona State in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl yesterday. A wild one, 39-31, double overtime.
3rd and 8. Levitt. That ball's intercepted. It is intercepted. Makuba seals it. Hook 'em horns. They're headed home to Texas to play in the Cotton Bowl. Texas advances. Makuba seals it.
Man, Texas may have won the game, but Scatabo was the talk of the town. That dude yakking on the sideline, throwing for touchdowns, running for touchdowns, doing everything. Unbelievable, that guy. Ohio State handing number 1 Oregon a massive loss, 41-21 in the Rose Bowl. That means number 5 Texas will face number 8 Ohio State next Friday at 6:30 on ESPN in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. The college football playoff quarterfinal at the All-State Sugar Bowl between number 7 Notre Dame and number 2 Georgia postponed yesterday due to the tragedy in New Orleans.
Today, isn't it today?
It'll be today at 3 o'clock on ESPN. The winner will move on to face number 6 Penn State next Thursday in the Capital One Orange Bowl. That game also at 6:30 on ESPN. The only other bowl game today is the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl featuring Duke and number 14 Ole Miss. That game at 6:30 on ESPN. Week 18 in the NFL kicks off Saturday. You got Cleveland at Baltimore at 3:30 on ESPN and ABC, and then you've got the Bengals and Steelers at 7 o'clock on ESPN and ABC. Packers, of course, hosting the Bears on Sunday at noon, and the Vikings and Lions Sunday Night Football for the NFC North title and the number 1 overall seed in the NFC.
That's big time.
Speaking of the Packers, cornerback Jair Alexander underwent arthroscopic knee surgery earlier this week to alleviate pain and swelling. Jair said he could make it back for the Super Bowl if the Packers make it that far. Obviously lofty goals, but it's only a month from now, a month and some change. So
early February, right?
Yeah, I think the second weekend in February they moved it, right? Yeah. So there you go. Sports on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We'll get to somebody's effing song in just a couple of minutes, so stick around for that. And if you need something, you can find us online at rockmornings.com.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw.
Corn Freak on a Leash. That is Jovi's effing song. Jovi, hopefully you got to hear it. If not, you can still enjoy the Downtown Main Street gift card, courtesy of Nikki Paisley, that you won for requesting your effing song on our website. Congratulations, Jovi.
Make sure you head there to sign up for stuff.
Again, cold today and pretty much the rest of this week. Very cold with high temps.
Yeah.
Lingering in the teens, down in the single digits over the next couple of nights.
Yeah, I'm looking at that. Like as in 0. As in this weekend, it'll be down to nothing.
I haven't seen you since before Christmas. How was your holidays? What'd you do? I mean, I saw a bunch of pictures of a lot of people in a lot of places, but
yeah, that was it. It was good. Christmas was good. Celebrated Christmas Eve at our friend's house.
Fondue, right?
Had some fondue.
Was there any fondue burning incidents? Any
no,
sort of hot cheese burning?
Everything went smoothly, so that was good.
Tell me about the wine bottles, because you told me the story, but I don't think our listeners have heard about these wine bottles.
So I thought I was doing this really special secret thing. It's my friend is a fan of Josh Wine.
Joshua Wines, Josh Sellers, right?
Josh Sellers, yes. And a month ago or so, I saw a giant display at Target with a huge bottle of it, and there was a QR code where you could go to their website and basically personalize a label.
Okay.
So I thought, I'll do that. So you upload a picture, you put the message or whatever, and they send it to you. It's genius marketing, actually, because then you have to buy the bottle of Josh, obviously, put the sticker on. Yeah. But I thought...
So they don't actually put it on. They send you the bottle and the sticker, and then you put the sticker on.
They don't send you the bottle. They send you the stickers for free.
Oh, gotcha.
Free. They're free.
Gotcha.
So you can do up to 2 a day.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. So you don't pay for it. It's cool.
But you're not going to print out the stickers without a bottle of Josh.
But you got to buy the bottle of wine, right? So it's genius. And it's kind of cool, because if you wanted to do it for a celebration or whatever, you can do 2 a day
retirement
for free
or something like that.
Yeah. Anyway, I didn't think she'd know about that, right? So my intention for my big present...
You mean your friend who loves Josh Wine would not know about the Josh special stickers Christmas Spectacular?
Correct.
Okay.
So that was my present to her was this bottle with this and a couple other things. But and anyway, she shows up at my house the weekend before Christmas, and she has one made for me and hands me a personalized bottle. And I tried to be genuinely grateful,
right?
But in my head, I'm like, you just ruined my Christmas present to you. And she's like,
oh man,
isn't it cool? You can do personalized labels, and I'm like, wow, what a great idea.
What I know of Lori is that at least she would find the humor in the two of you,
which is exactly what happened.
And rather than thanks for doing the same.
So Christmas Eve, we're at her house. She opens up the bottle and dies laughing.
Sounds
right?
about right.
Yeah. So it came with I also bought a hoodie that said I'd drop kick a child for a bottle of Josh Sellers wine. So she has a hoodie that expresses her love for the product. So anyway,
product.
That was great. Christmas morning was great at our house, and then we drove to the farm to see my mom.
Let's not fast forward too far. Did we get our nightstand organizer drawer thing?
I got the silverware drawer thing, the bamboo drawer thing.
Oh, there you go.
I got
all right,
that,
very
and
nice.
I got a glass container, to put my things in my nightstand.
Very nice. So you got your family, they stepped up.
They stepped up.
Nice. Well, I'm glad that happened for you because I know you were very concerned about organizing. Did you immediately implement the nightstand bowl dish thing?
Well, when we got back from the farm, because we basically opened presents, everybody got ready, and we took off and drove to Black Earth and had a great afternoon there with my siblings, and my mom was there, and nieces and nephews, and my mom got to hold a baby. It was awesome.
Great, or how many greats?
Great. Just great.
Just great
grandbaby.
Gotcha.
Yep. And so that was really super cool. And then we got back late that night.
I know you love your mom, but do you get concerned with a baby and a 96-year-old lady? Is there a tinge of concern?
No, she's sitting. We had her. She was in a recliner. We got her all set up first, and then the baby.
Plenty of support. She's all right. Well, very good. It sounds like your Christmas was good. Ours was rather average. There was nothing all that crazy other than the puppy and opening presents with a puppy in the house and homemade pizzas and all that crap. And then we went and ate a bunch of ham the dog. It was funny. The puppy came with us to my in-laws' house on Christmas Day when the rest of the family was there, especially not a lot, but there were several smaller children. But dude, that dog wanted nothing to do with anybody. Just laid on my lap and slept the entire time we were there. Almost all 4 hours that we were there, I just sat in the chair, watched football, and had a dog sleeping on my lap. So I was fine with that.
Yeah,
but,
that sounds like a good
New Year's, of course, earlier this week. Ours was pretty mundane. We had gone down Tuesday. We went down to the city meat market, picked up some steaks. Our plan was to do a nice little homemade dinner along with a nice bottle of champagne, which was wasted on me. I don't know the difference, but so we got back and had a few drinks, and then we made some dinner, and I was in bed by maybe 9 o'clock, and wife stayed up until 1:30 or whatever it was. But yeah, and then yesterday we just I took all of the Christmas lights down. She took all of the Christmas decoration, everything. Our house looks like looks like it just got moved into now that all that crap's been put away. But New Year's at your house, how was that?
Yeah, we had 13 people over, and we did a nice meal, and then a bunch of kids celebrated in our basement, and we stayed up and watched movies until the new year. And then yesterday I actually went to Moana 2 in the theaters, and it was good. Maybe not as catchy as the first one, but still good.
Still good.
Still good.
Rockmornings.com if you want to get in touch with us. Let us know how your New Year's Eve celebration went. Watch some of the New Year's Eve specials, I guess.
I didn't watch it until the clips yesterday of all the highlights and stuff.
We started watching the Dick Clark one with Ryan Seacrest, and they had Gronk in Vegas and some other lady, I don't remember who it was, and then saw Alanis perform. I think she did Ironic, and then I think it was shortly after that I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with this already. Whitney Cummings is apparently making the rounds today on the internet. She said some stuff on the CNN with Anderson Cooper and Andy Cohen.
A lot of people said a lot of things. I watched a lot of highlights of that.
Okay, so
I also watched the Netflix roast to 2024 last night.
Oh yeah, and
it's exactly what you expect for a roast. It's brutal, but funny.
Yeah, I don't think anything.
the ghost of the CEO makes an appearance, just to tell you.
We did start watching a new, not new, but it's newish. There's a newish series about Charles Manson called Making. I think it's called Making Manson. I think it's on Prime. And it's like a guy who wanted to get an autograph from Charles Manson to like try and sell it. And so he wrote him while he was in prison. And then he started becoming like phone buddies with him and recorded like hours and hours and hours and hours of like conversations that he had with Manson on the phone. And it's interviews with him, audio from the tapes, plus a bunch of former Manson cult members, like the followers, some of the women and people that were involved with it, interviews with them. There's one lady. We only watched, like, I think the first, I don't know, half hour or so. But there's one lady who's like a journalist, and she's like, I'm not going to be a part of this piece of crap if it's going to make him look like a glorified hero. The guy's a psycho killer. She was not having it.
There you go.
So, yeah, we get caught up on that. We didn't go to any movies, though, other than Christmas Story, which I told you about. Rage Against the Machine coming up in just a bit. Right now, it's Scott Stapp, his latest Black Butterfly.
Rock Mornings, only on 95.7 The Rock.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. That, of course, Nickelback, Leader of Men. Got a text from our buddy Jim in Kuwait. Said he spent New Year's Eve in a tower, in a guard's tower.
Well, welcome to the new year. Glad to hear you're safe.
He got an extra 45 days. Yeah, I felt bad because he was getting towards the end of his time there, and then they let him know that he was going to be staying a little longer. So, Jim, please stay safe, and thank you so much for your service. And we'll, of course, continue to talk to you as you spend time overseas, and looking forward to the day when you can come back. Did you make any New Year's resolutions? Like,
I don't know about resolutions, but
the general?
Yeah.
Nothing in terms of, like, 5 pounds or...
Not that specific. I mean, I'd like that all to be part and parcel, right? There's some decluttering I'd like to accomplish this year.
Like getting rid of stuff?
Yeah.
Or
I mean, it's not too bad, but...
more organizing?
And getting rid of some stuff.
All right. Clothing?
No. That's not a problem
Just
for me.
stuff?
It's just stuff.
Okay. Well, if you are looking to be healthy in the new year, 2025, and you want to eat more vegetables and less cheeseburgers.
Rainbow of vegetables and fruit. Eat your rainbow.
What do you think the healthiest vegetable of all is?
Healthiest vegetable of all.
This is based on the CDC's nutrient density.
It's probably going to be something dumb that I hate, like kale. Is it kale?
It's not kale, but it is something dumb, and you're never going to think about it.
I'm not going to think about it?
No. I'll give you a tip.
This is the healthiest vegetable you can eat.
Asian food.
Okay. I don't know. Broccoli?
Broccoli is wrong.
Okay.
The CDC...
water chestnuts.
Close. Watercress.
Okay. Well, that's a seasonal thing here that grows in streams, but only for like a month.
Right, but watercress salad, you find them in like a lot of Chinese, Asian food, right? Noodle dishes and stuff like that.
My dad loved watercress.
The CDC list based on nutrient density, or how jam-packed different vegetables are with vitamins and minerals compared to how many calories they contain. The ones with the most nutrients and fewest calories rank the highest, which means watercress comes in at numero uno. It is nutrient dense. The one drawback, not a lot of fiber in there, so it shouldn't be the only vegetable that you eat. But if you're looking to eat more veggies and you don't want to just hammer salads all the time, try some Chinese cabbage, some chard, which is similar to kale, right? Those are the top three: watercress, Chinese cabbage, and chard. Next, you've got beet greens, spinach.
Spinach, I was wondering about that.
Chicory, which I don't even know what the hell that is. Leaf lettuce, so any kind of lettuce. Parsley, don't load up on it. Apparently, too much parsley can cause kidney stones in some people.
Are you eating a bowl full of parsley?
Again, romaine lettuce and collard greens. So, yeah, a lot of greens in there. If none of those sound appealing, arugula, broccoli, and Brussels sprouts all rank pretty high. Just talking about nutrients versus calories. Yeah. The least nutritious vegetables include celery, iceberg lettuce, and cucumbers because they're all mostly just water.
But super good for you.
Yeah, good for you, and not a lot of calories. Mm-hmm. But again, not a lot of nutrients in there either. It's just a lot of water. But again, if you're trying to eat some healthier vegetables, go with the water. Just have all watercress all the time.
No, I don't think so. Well, and like I said, around here it grows in streams in the spring, but harder to find.
Yeah, I'm
more expensive.
I'm in the same boat. I'm fat and disgusting, but I'm like really concerned about my psoriasis because I'm going in for the appointments in January.
The light treatment?
Yeah, so if I can get that under control, that'll be a win, and I'll be satisfied with that, and then the rest of it can figure itself out. We'll get to music in just a couple of minutes from System of a Down. Stick around.
Rock Mornings, Monday to Friday, 6 to 9.
System of a Down with Chop Suey on Rock Mornings. Again, kind of cold. Polar vortex, right? They keep talking about that.
Yeah, I was looking at that. Doesn't look like much snow in our forecast, but temperatures are going to be significantly cooler this weekend.
Yeah, down into the teens, maybe even single digits during the day. Definitely going to be in the single digits at night. So be prepared. Stay warm. Keep an eye on all your friends and family and neighbors and all that stuff. Don't let your dog stay outside too long. Just a week before Christmas, Fernandina Beach Fire Department rushing to the scene of a bicycle collision where a young man was trapped under his bike wheel. Before the firefighters could free the boy, his name was KJ, by the way, they had to cut his foot out from where it was trapped among the spokes of the wheel. Somehow, bike accident, the kid's foot ends up inside the spokes of the wheel.
Got it.
So they got to cut these spokes out.
Yep, I get what you're saying.
KJ then brought to the hospital to be treated for injuries, including a nasty ankle sprain. But the firefighters decided to do something to help cheer up the boy. His bike was essentially ruined.
Mm-hmm, and it's right before Christmas.
And it's right before Christmas. Kid's riding his bike, got in a nasty accident. They had to cut all the spokes out. So the firefighters who showed up on scene to help KJ and rescue him also showed up at the hospital with a brand new bike and helmet. The following day, they shared a photograph on the Fernandina Fire Department Facebook page of them surprising KJ with his new gift. His mom, Joanna, smiling in the photo, said the injury left no serious damage, but KJ still in shock, saying that reminds us of what the holidays are truly about. Merry Christmas and happy holidays from our fire family to yours. Stay safe, Fernandina. Very cool move by the firefighters, picking up a looks like he kind of slept through it too. He's just kind of zonked out there in the bed. Got himself a new bike though, very nice one. A Huffy. Got a Huffy bike for Christmas. You ever wipe out on a bike?
Yes.
Bad?
We had I guess bad enough for me to remember it, right? We had when the house that we had in the country had a little incline to get up, and it had like hot tar and pea gravel on it. Mm-hmm. You know, that's how we surfaced that, and I wiped out on it, and it went up. All the like fresh pea gravel went up under my skin on my knee. Ooh. Like I cut it open and it went all up in there, the tar and the pea gravel. And I remember my mom having to like pick out this tar and pea gravel to the point of where I had a scar about the size of a egg on my knee. So yes, that's the worst one I remember anyway.
I was going to the library in my hometown, and the way Concord Street goes, there's a hill at the big intersection, and you go down the hill, and then you get to another intersection after you go over the bridge over the Nashua River, and you take a left and you go up that street, and there's a library right there. Well, as I'm just about to take that left to go on my bicycle, right, and I'm coming down the hill and I'm going full speed, and there's not a lot of traffic, so I can make it. Well, my chain slipped or came off, and so as I went to pedal real fast, there was no gear, right? So the pedal just spun, and then of course I went like this, went down right in the middle of Main Street in downtown Nashua. Nice. Broke my bike. The handlebars were all left up. Oh, man. That was one of many. I wiped out a lot on my bike. But yeah, that one was a vivid memory because it was like right in the middle of traffic. Big dumb idiot. Fame on Fire and Offspring coming up. If you need something, rockmornings.com.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene, and President Biden announcing that the federal government and all of its agencies and departments will be shut down next Thursday, a week from today. This is because of the death of Jimmy Carter.
Mm-hmm.
But all federal government agencies and departments shut down January 9th, according to a statement from the White House. Joe Biden issuing an executive order directing the closure of government agencies and executive departments to show respect for former President Jimmy Carter, who died last Sunday at the age of 100. When a president dies, of course, common for the day of their funeral to be treated like a federal holiday with offices closed. The statement said that some federal departments and agencies may remain open for reasons of national security, defense, or other public need. The New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ will close on January 9th in honor of Carter's passing as well. And, so if you've got stuff going on the 9th, next Thursday, you might want to look into that because passport stuff, whatever it is.
Yeah, an 8-day period of mourning, I guess, started yesterday. His family arrives in Plains, Georgia today, and then things happen over the next week or so. I believe he lays in state on the 9th. And
obviously you're seeing flags at half-mast throughout the state and the country, and don't be shocked when you see that on Inauguration Day. Probably going to notice that. People may not remember that it's 30 days, I believe, after the death of a president that they lower the flags. So be on the lookout for that. It's Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. You know who Colin Mockery is?
Do I? I don't know.
You do. So you've been gone. So normally we would conduct interviews together, but Colin Mockery, who is from...
Oh, yes, I do know.
Whose line is it anyways?
Yeah.
He's the bald guy.
Yes.
From Canada. Anyways, so he and his, comedy partner, Brad Sherwood, have a new live show, if you will, where they're on tour, and it's basically Whose Line Is It Anyways, but in person.
So a lot of improv.
It's totally improv, and it's audience participation. And I spoke with Colin Mockery a couple of days ago before the New Year holiday because they're going to be at the Pabst Theater in Milwaukee in another 2 weeks from today, and then the next night they'll be at the Pablo in Eau Claire. So we're gonna run that interview with Colin Mockery here in just a bit.
Awesome.
Yeah, from Whose Line Is It Anyways? So stick around for that. Also, sports coming up after Offspring, which is right after Fame on Fire.
Rock Mornings on 95.7 The Rock.
Offspring kids aren't all right. Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. NFL action returns on Saturday. The AFC North. Everybody. Week 18, last week of the regular season. Hard to believe it's already here. But that'll kick off on Saturday with Cleveland and Baltimore. 3:30 on ESPN and ABC. And then the second game will be Bengals-Steelers, 7 o'clock, ESPN and ABC. Packers, of course, host the Bears on Sunday at noon. Not a lot to play for. I think they can move a little bit with the seating. But I don't know if it has anything to do with...
Jordan even play, really? I mean...
I would assume maybe the first quarter, maybe a couple of series, but Vikings at Lions, that's the big one. They obviously our NFL is excited about that one.
I'm sure they are.
Sunday Night Football, NFC North title, and the number one overall seed in the NFC up for grabs. Vikings and Lions. Packers cornerback Jair Alexander undergoing arthroscopic knee surgery earlier this week to alleviate pain and swelling. Could make it back for the Super Bowl if the Packers get that far. Bucks over the Pacers Tuesday night, 121-12. They're at home against Brooklyn tonight at 7. Badger men's basketball returns tomorrow night against Iowa at 6 o'clock on FS1. And bowl games today. You've got, of course, the All-State Sugar Bowl between number 7 Notre Dame and number 2 Georgia. That'll be at 3 o'clock on ESPN. That was postponed after yesterday with the tragedy in New Orleans. The winner of that game, by the way, moves on to face number 6 Penn State next Thursday in the Capital One Orange Bowl. Today's other bowl game is the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl featuring Duke and Ole Miss. That's at 6:30 tonight on ESPN. Eagles running back Saquon Barkley going to sit out on Sunday's regular season finale with only 101 yards left to get the all-time single-season NFL rushing record.
Sitting out?
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Injuries, all that crap. You don't want to have him get injured in the last game trying to chase a record, but you're so close. I bet if it was under 100 yards, they would go for it. If it was somewhere around 60 or 70.
What, it's right at the cusp of making it
It's 100. He needs 101 yards to break Eric Dickerson's NFL record of 2,105 yards set way back in 1984. You're talking about a 41-year-old record. You're so close. Likely going to, and you're playing the Giants too. You're not playing anybody. You're playing one of the worst teams in the league.
Sure, let them try.
It's not like you're playing, the Lions or the Vikings, or somebody good or the Chiefs.
It's quite possible this could happen for him.
Yeah, I don't even try it for the first half, maybe. Maybe you can pick up a couple of 20-yarders. You know what I mean? But, it sounds like Saquon Barkley going to be out against the Giants in the Eagles' regular season finale. Phillies' postseason seeding is secure, so they can't move either way. Nick Sirianni, head coach, suggested that Saquon will be one of the starters who will rest as the Eagles, of course, gear up for the playoffs. 101 yards short. Bummer. 4 players and 2 coaches ejected from the Rockets-Miami Heat game over the weekend after a brawl broke out in the final minute of the game following an altercation between Tyler Herro and Amon Thompson. On Tuesday, the NBA, announced the fines and suspensions that were doled out to all of those involved. On the Rockets, Amon Thompson suspended for 2 games without pay for his role in the skirmish, while Jalen Green was fined $35,000. Additionally, their head coach, Ime Udoka, was fined $50,000 for verbally abusing an official and refusing to leave the court in a timely manner after being ejected. As for the Miami Heat, Terry Rozier was suspended for 1 game without pay for his involvement, and Tyler Herro fined $25,000 as well.
There's tickets everywhere, and you can pay a fine, and you can pay a fine.
And the FAA, the Federal Aviation Administration, launching an investigation after a private jet carrying the Gonzaga University men's basketball team nearly crossed a runway as another flight was taking off on Friday.
Oh, my gosh. What?
At L.A. International Airport. The plane, operated by Key Lime Air, was ordered by air traffic controllers to stop as a Delta aircraft took off. Nobody was injured, but now the FAA looking into what the hell happened.
Yeah,
they also need to figure out how that guy got a bomb through the TSA on Christmas. Still not. Did you go back and watch it a second time? Carry on? No?
No, I'm not going to watch it again. It's a stupid movie.
I did see an article, by the way. I think it was a flight attendant talking about all the errors in that movie.
I'm sure.
I didn't read the article, but I saw the headline. All I know is that I watched it, and while I enjoyed Jason Bateman as an actor and that character, and that movie was good, there were so many things in that movie that were like, and I don't even work in an airport, but I can tell you all the things that are wrong. I don't need a flight attendant or a TSA person to tell me what's wrong. I can watch it and go, yep, that's wrong.
That's not right.
Yeah. Sports on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene coming up in just a bit. My interview with Colin Mockery from Whose Line Is It Anyways? Going to be at the Pablo in 2 weeks. Also going to be at the Pabst Theater. So stick around for that.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene on the phone with Colin Mockery, who you might remember from Whose Line Is It Anyways, along with the millions and millions of other credits to your IMDb page. You've got tons of stuff, including the Red Green Show, which I didn't remember, but my wife did, because I told her I was going to be talking to you, and I dressed up as Red Green for Halloween one year, and so it's kind of an important thing in our household. And she said, oh, yeah, he was on that show back in the day, and I totally didn't even remember it. But how was working on the Red Green Show? Is that right in your alleyway, or is that something a little out of your comfort zone?
No, it's something right in my alleyway. And one of my best friends is Pat McKenna, who played Harold on the show. And actually, that character that he played, we had developed on the stage at Second City when we were there together. So, yeah, that was a fun show to do.
Now, Colin, we're on the phone with you because you've got a couple of shows in our area, including one at the Pabst Theater in Milwaukee on the 16th of January, and then the following night you're going to be in Eau Claire at the Pablo Center. I was actually just at the Pabst Theater this past weekend watching A Christmas Story and then doing a little meet and greet VIP Q&A with Peter Billingsley, who played Ralphie in that movie.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, I love the Pabst Theater. Milwaukee has been one of our go-tos over the 23 years we've been touring. I think we did 17 years in a row at one point. So we always look forward to heading back there.
Now, Colin, tell me more about your show. It's you and Brad Sherwood, your cohort, if you will, and it's called Asking for Trouble. Now, is this similar to Whose Line Is It Anyways, or is it different in different ways? Explain the show to me.
We like to say it's a live version of Whose Line, but without the dead weight. And I think you know who I'm talking about, Styles and Brady.
Uh-huh.
A lot of the games will be familiar to fans of Whose Line. We do a sound effects game and games like that. And then games we've had to sort of adapt because it's just the two of us. But every game starts with a suggestion from the audience. We have the audience on stage with us for about 80% of the games. It's just goofy fun like Whose Line.
And is that, how long does the show last? Is it a couple hours? Is there a break in the middle?
Yeah, there is an intermission. It's a 2-hour show. We give people a chance to recharge after the incredible workout their stomach muscles have in the first act.
Yeah, and I've never been to the Pablo, but as I mentioned, I did go to the Pabst this past weekend, so it's nice to get out, stretch your legs, and, hit up the concession stand, grab a box of popcorn or maybe a beverage or something like that. And people can obviously get tickets. They can go to the website, colinandbradshow.com for more details. I believe there's some highlights from some of the previous shows, but because it's audience participation, it's brand new and different every time.
That's, I think, the main reason we've been able to do this for 23 years without getting absolutely tired of it. Every show is an opening and closing night for that audience. No one will ever see that show again. So it makes it sort of a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and it makes it a lot of fun for us because it keeps it fresh for us.
Now, do you guys hang out afterwards and do autographs and meet and greets and pictures, or is that a VIP thing people can buy on your website, or are you guys just sort of like done for the night and want to kind of get back in the green room and kind of relax and sort of, recenter yourself?
We're always, as work goes, it's very hard to say, we're not working in a coal mine. We're going on stage and making up crap for 2 hours. So we're very aware of how much the audience, how important they are to us. So sometimes there's scheduled VIP events. A lot of times people just wait by the stage door, and we're always happy to give autographs and get pictures and have a little chat. No problem.
It's Colin Mochrie on the phone with us from Whose Line Is It Anyways, and a slew of other credits to your illustrious career. Where did comedy begin for you? Obviously, you probably were a funny kid, but was that like an uncle or a grandmother? Like, where does that sort of that impetus come from for you when it comes to being funny and trying to make other people laugh?
I'm not sure, because no one in my family is funny at all. All Scottish, very morbid. My grandfather had a good sense of humor, so I guess from him. But, when I was young, my plan was to become a marine biologist. I was very shy. Then I was there to try out for the school play. I got my first laugh, and that's when everything changed. I thought, what's this? I want this now all the time. So, and that was in Vancouver, British Columbia. Went to theater school, saw my first improv there a couple of years later, and then just got involved in the improv community that was just starting up in Canada and other places, never thinking, this would be my career. It's just something I enjoy doing. So very fortunate.
Yeah, and so then making people laugh is kind of like a drug for you then, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, do you is improv the only kind of comedy that you're really interested in? I mean, obviously, you've been in some scripted stuff with television and movies and things like that, but in terms of there's so many different versions of comedy, whether it's stand-up or improv, but are there other versions of it that you have dabbled in or that you're really interested in trying or that you're expanding into?
I did sketch comedy at Second City for a few years. My wife and I wrote a sitcom for a couple of years that we did. So I think I enjoy the stage show more than anything else, only because we're totally in charge. So if the show sucks, it's our fault. If it goes well, it's because of us. In all the other permutations of comedy, there are other people who get involved, and sometimes you don't always are the driver of your own vehicle.
Can you tell right away when you're doing improv if it's not working, or is there sort of like a a time limit on something where you're trying to make it work? Like, say someone shouts something out from the audience and you're working on it. Do you know right away if it's not going to work, or do you take some time with it and try to flesh it out?
Yeah, you're always positive at the beginning. You think, no, this is going to be the greatest thing ever. And it's a few minutes in, you can go, okay, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. But the beauty is you're never by yourself. So even if you're feeling a little out of your depth, you've got a partner there who can sometimes get you back into the swing of things. And you're always working together to make it work. So what I love about improv is if you're dying, you're taking someone with you.
I like that adjective. I like that description. That's funny. Obviously, stand-up comedians have to deal with hecklers from time to time because they're, in a quiet room where people are drinking and they want to get involved in the comedy. But you guys involve the people in the comedy as you're going. Do you still get hecklers at an improv show? And if so, how do you deal with those people?
We've been pretty lucky. I mean, we're asking the audience to shout things at us throughout the entire show.
Right.
But they prove to be quite, I think because with a stand-up, it's more of an us against them sort of feel. The stand-up, they know he's written all the material, so they know that, okay, you think you're funny, let's see. With improv, they have a vested interest in us doing well because they're giving us a suggestion. They want their suggestion to be the best and the scene to be the best. So we have a little more leeway to suck.
Colin Mochrie on the phone with us all the way from Toronto, Canada, talking about his upcoming show here in our area called Asking for Trouble. Colin Mochrie and your cohort, Brad Sherwood, bringing your latest, improv show to the area. Going to be at the Pablo Center in Eau Claire, January 17th. And the night before that, they'll be at the Pabst Theater in Milwaukee on January 16th. Where can people go to get more info and to buy tickets, Colin?
You can go to colinandbradshow.com. Has all the information of our entire tour. So if we're anywhere near you, check it out, buy some tickets.
Yes, get the tickets for the show and go live your life. I always tell people that you never know when you're going to have, not going to have a chance to see something. So, like concerts and movies and improv shows, buy the tickets and go to the show and have some fun. And thank you so much, Colin, for joining us on the phone for a few minutes. Appreciate it.
Oh, thanks for having me on, Brian. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Colin Mochrie from a couple of days ago. You probably
recognize
know
that
him,
voice for sure.
Probably know him best from Whose Line Is It Anyways? But again, if you go to his IMDb page, he's got a ton of credits on his resume. And he, along with Brad Sherwood, coming to the area in 2 weeks.
Milwaukee and Eau Claire, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and you can go to Colin, Colin, and Brad, Brad, show, Colin and Brad show, or you can just Google Colin Mochrie and find out more about this. But it's essentially, as he mentioned, Whose Line Is It Anyways? On stage and in person,
kind of,
where they're up there and they're just having you shout out things. They even include people on the stage to help act things out. And January 16th, which is, what is that, a Thursday? That's 2 weeks from today.
Yep.
That's at the Pabst Theater in Milwaukee. If you've never been there, by the way, this was my first chance to go to the Pabst Theater when we went for A Christmas Story. Absolutely gorgeous in there. I mean, just phenomenally beautiful in the theater itself. We didn't get a chance to really venture around and check out much of the rest of the rooms and stuff because it's a huge building. But and then the following night, January 17th, Friday, January 17th, at the Pablo Center at the Confluence in Eau Claire. Get your tickets online at colinandbradshow.com.
Well, that sounds like a fun night out.
Yeah, something different too,
Yeah.
We, like I said to him, about hecklers, you go to a show a lot of times and there's always maybe not always, but a lot of times there's somebody that wants to be a part of the comedy, and I get it. You want to, you think you're funny and your friends are like, hey, and you've had a couple of cocktails and you shout something out and maybe it gets a laugh or a chuckle. And
improv is so hard.
But improv is different because it wants the audience participation and it's right there on the spot. So if you want to see something a little different, Colin and Colin Mochrie and Brad Sherwood, the show coming to town. Very cool. Mm-hmm. Good chat. By the way, if you missed that interview, if you want to listen to it a second time, it's on the website, rockmornings.com.
As is your place to sign up to win a bunch of free things, too.
Yeah, including date night, which is tomorrow. Right now, it's Lincoln Park. What I've done.
Rock Mornings on your rock station.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. That is Fair to Midland, Dance of the Manatee, some Lincoln Park before that, and our conversation with Colin Mochrie from a few days ago, which, if you missed, you can hear online at rockmornings.com. Also on the website, you can check out the daily podcast, give it a like, subscribe, all that stuff. Register to win contests like Date Night, which we'll give away tomorrow. Workforce Wednesday, obviously, we'll do that again next week. Right there at rockmornings.com. You can also listen to the show live on the website.
Now, it's going to be nice to have sunshine the next couple days because it's been super dreary and very gray. But along with that sunshine comes significantly colder temperatures. You're looking at teens and down to like nothing by the weekend.
Much like every other dog owner out there or dog parent, I'm just happy that it has chosen a side. That we're not in that weird middle ground where everything is kind of muddy and mucky and moist, and the dogs.
It was when all the snow
right,
was
for the
on
last week,
him.
it's been nothing but dog tracks in my house all over everything, and you're trying to wipe their feet. It's like, forget it. Now that it's frozen, there's not a lot of that coming back in the house. So I'm glad it's chosen a side. Because that misty, humid, mid-40s that we had where everything sort of melted and got mushy.
And then got froze
Yeah.
on top of it.
Oof. I'm just glad that's over. Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We'll get to Bad News, Happy Music a bit later on, and we got a new Karen of the day to get to as well.
More of your Rock Mornings coming up in just a bit.
Lithium from Nirvana on National Buffet Day.
Go eat yourself silly.
Isn't that kind of the opposite of New Year's resolutions?
Buffet day?
Right? Like, I'm going to eat healthy in 2025. I'm going to lose some weight. I'm going to...
Everything that's on this buffet, I'm trying. Everything.
Sounds counterproductive. Also, National Cream Puff Day and National Swiss Cheese Day.
Use Swiss to make the fondue.
Ham, melts easy, right? Ham
Delicious.
and Swiss. A little ham and Swiss. So celebrate National Buffet Day accordingly. Doug Robb of Hoobastank, their lead singer, is 50. Yeah, that guy, 50 years old today. Also turning 50 years old today, Dax Shepard. Might remember him from Baby Mama.
I'm going to bang your friends. Consider them all banged.
Also remember him from Idiocracy.
Oh, that's... Go away, Baton.
He was baiting, so go away. He was baiting. Dax Shepard, 50 years old. Cuba Gooding Jr., 57.
Show me the money.
Show me the money. My ambassador of Kwan. He got in some trouble recently, huh? Pretty serious stuff, too. Tia Carrere is 58. You remember her, of course, from Wayne's World.
Campbell, it's amazing. You learn how to say I look pretty in Cantonese.
Yes, Tia Carrere. Camera 1, camera 2. Camera 1, camera 2. Camera 1, camera 2. Ballroom Blitz, no? And born on this day in 1969, he died in 2013. It was Tommy Gunn Morrison, who was in Rocky V, also the WBO heavyweight champ at one point of his career, but yeah, tragic end to his life. 1966.
Yeah.
The Green Bay Packers beat the Cleveland Browns in the NFL championship game 23-12. It was the first NFL title game televised in color on television, and also the final championship game before the Super Bowl era.
Go, Pack, go!
They won a few of those. 1990, Alan Hale Jr., who you know better as the skipper on Gilligan's Island. He died of cancer at the age of 68. Aboard this tiny ship. 2019, Bob Einstein died at the age of 76 of leukemia. You know him better as Super Dave Osborne. Comedian, no?
I don't think so. I don't.
And also on this day in 2019, Mean Gene Okerlund died of kidney failure. He was also 76.
Always the consummate professional. One take Okerlund never falters under pressure.
He comes off that top rope with a flying... I could do this better drunk.
I'm not about to lay down on my back and let someone cover me.
I thank you very much. I screwed that thing up. What? Oh, my God.
You have embarrassed me again, Jim. It's not Jim, it's Dean.
I told you, right? Where I got the big mouth. She nursed me for 4 years.
Do you have a name on that? Male or female?
I didn't check.
Neither did I.
Good old Mean Gene Okerlund passing away on this day in 2019. And 2023, just 1 year ago. Well, 2 years ago now. It's 2025, right?
Yep.
Damar Hamlin collapsing. Cardiac arrest, that game, revived by CPR on the field.
Yeah.
Bengals in Cincinnati, yeah. Buffalo Bills, Bengals, yeah. And he collapsed right there.
Months in rehab, wasn't he? Months and months, and then made that
stunning return, though. Stunning return. But yeah, this on this day in 2023 was when he collapsed and had they had to perform CPR on him on the field. Oof.
Bring him basically back to life.
And there you go. Some stuff that happened on January 2nd, along with some birthdays. We're going to get to the Karen of the day in just a bit.
Rock Mornings. On air, online, on the app.
Karen.
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 Karen. Yeah, Karen. Karen. You what? Why did you do that? Why did you do that, Karen?
She's alarming but disarming and a really very charming modern girl.
Karen.
Ooh, Karen.
Oh,
Start the year off on the wrong foot.
What's she mad about?
I don't know, Gene. What is Karen mad about?
She pulled up to the gas pump and then you butted. She wanted caramel and got butterscotch.
Incorrect.
Not correct either. She wanted to make her own burrito bowl.
We did talk about her last earlier this week.
She made her own. She sure did.
Smacked that guy in the face with his tortilla, I think. One more. What do you think this Karen is mad about?
Let's see. She the ski lift. The ski lift. Okay.
No, this was in an airport where a lot of these freakouts tend to happen. And apparently she tried to sneak into like the Sky Lounge, which is only open to certain
members that pay extra money to
certain
have that.
people, and demanded to be fed. And then she wanted to go into the smoking lounge, which apparently is still a thing, and wanted to vape, and they wouldn't let her in there. And then she tried to get some nicotine gum, and they wouldn't sell it to her. And then she kept saying that she has seen Titanic, and it was just a scene, man. And then finally she tries to get on the plane, and the captain of the plane says, "No, bitch, you're not getting on." And then the cops showed up, and she had a complete meltdown.
All right, so here's what's happening. You're going to stop and listen to me. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. It's not going to happen. Here's the thing. You've been boarding.
By the captain. I listen to captain's orders. Because I've seen Titanic. I've seen Titanic. I am White Lotus. I am Titanic.
Okay.
Get your hands off me.
We're going out. We are escorting you out. You are requested to leave the property.
Well, guess what?
Get out of my face. Get out of my face. All right. Ma'am.
Get your hands off me while I drink my water!
Nope. Back up. Ready?
You've got to be ready to go. I'm gone in 60 seconds.
You're under arrest. Turn around, put your hands behind your back.
No.
Turn around, put your hands behind your back.
Not again!
Put your hands behind your back.
Get your hands off me!
Stop resisting. Stop resisting.
No!
Stop resisting.
Help! Someone! Help! Help! Oh!
Oh, my.
Help!
Nobody came to help.
I do appreciate the accent.
She is apparently she is from Scotland.
Yeah, she sounds like.
When I first heard the audio, I'm like, oh, that's fake. It's too contrived. It's too overdone. But it's real. She's really from there, and she had a major meltdown. I think there was maybe some medication involved, some maybe mental health medication that didn't get taken in the morning or something. Because she starts saying that I've seen Titanic, I'm White Lotus. Then she says I'm gone in 60 seconds. She's dropping these weird references to movies and TV shows. She wants to drink the water out of the bubbler, and she slurps at it instead of drinking it like a normal human being. It's just all very strange.
Yeah,
but
like it was a very
needless to
bad
say,
day.
she got arrested after several run-ins at the airport. And then finally it was the captain of the plane who said, "No, hell no, you're not getting on my plane."
Nope.
Yeah. Good on the captain.
Yes.
The rest of the people that Do they even let you? They don't let you know when you get on the plane either, right? They don't be like, "Hey, listen, we left some crazy bitch at the terminal, so you guys, you're welcome." You know what I mean? Like, this flight can go on unchecked.
No, but I'm assuming that, she was a scene, so people might have been like, "Oh, that's not happening." Well, it's not getting
Crisis averted, though. Yeah.
Wow.
Karen of the day from Glasgow, trying to get on a plane, and just wasn't happening. Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We'll get to the friggin' sports and bad news, happy music in just a couple of minutes, so stick around for that. So right now it is Breaking Benjamin.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. That is the Wrong Side of Heaven from Five Finger Death Punch. Kind of cloudy. Mid-20s, then down into the teens the next few days. Single-digit lows during the overnight. Going to be brutally cold. Polar vortex.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see any snow in the forecast,
No,
though.
I know. I was thinking about that on my way to work. Not that I'm a big advocate to have to deal with all of that. We do know how it affects things in the spring if we don't get the snow that we need.
We'll see. We still got several more weeks of winter to go before we get to March and some spring weather, so I'm sure we'll have plenty of snow at some point. Watch out for the ice, though. Saw a lot of people out on the ice already, out there ice fishing.
A couple rescues
as well.
Holiday.
Yeah. So I know that I'm not an ice fisherman, and there's plenty of us out there, or plenty of them out there, but just be on the lookout. Obviously, very thin ice in certain places. Friggin' sports brought to you by the world's toughest referee of all time, maybe, possibly. Did you see this guy?
Did he get sacked or something?
No, this is in a kickboxing fight.
Okay.
And the ref ate some punches to the face from these two kickboxers who were going at it. This was Rizin, R-I-Z-I-N, their annual New Year's Eve card in Japan. Kickboxers Rukia Anpo and Sina Karamian. This is an exhibition boxing match. But these guys are kickboxers. So they're not supposed to do any kickboxing moves. They're supposed to just throw punches like a boxing match, right? While one of the guys tries a spinning back fist, which you're not supposed to do, right? Again, boxing. Just standing up straight, throwing left and right. This guy tried the spinning back fist, which is where you spin around like this and you hit him with the back of your hand.
Okay.
Right? A lot more force. Extremely illegal, by the way, in the world of boxing. The referee, of course, warns him. Action stops. Then it continues. And the other guy, to get back at him, tries his own spinning back fist. And then it erupts into a brawl, and the referee's in the middle trying to break things up, and he just ate like 3 or 4 good shots to the dome. But he didn't get knocked out.
Fall down.
He was taking punches from both guys.
Spinning back fist from Cena. Not permitted under these rules. He's broken the rule set. He knows it as well. It was only a matter of time. You know what, Zangin? I think we could almost take a break here and let Cena be the commentator who's talking that much.
Yeah, for sure. We definitely could. Ampo not phased by that. Obviously, he covered up. And he was telling the referee, let's not worry about it. Let's let it go.
However, does one of his own, returns the favour. Here we go. Here we go. It's getting crazy now. Now they're both breaking the rules. The referee got hit. The referee got hit. The referee got hit again. Oh, no,
and
it's
again.
a brawl.
And again.
Security's coming in. It's a brawl. It's a brawl. The referee got hit twice. Both men broke the rules.
And he got hit again.
Yeah, he ate a couple of them. If you haven't seen the video, Barstool's got it. Ampo, by the way, would go on to win the match with a unanimous decision, but at first it looked like they were just kind of goofing. They were throwing these back fists, right, which they're used to doing in the kickboxing world. And the two guys, I think, understood, okay, whatever, it's fun and, put on a show. It's also an entertainment product. But then, it just evolved into this absolute brawl, and the ref decided to get in there, and he just, bam, bam, he took a couple of good shots. Probably woke up with a hangover from
I bet
those punches. Yeah, big time. Again, if you haven't seen the video of the ref eating a few good shots to the dome, check it out. It's on Barstool. That's a terrible way to wake up on New Year's Day.
It is. This job, I got to rethink this.
Bad News, Happy Music is coming up in just a bit.
Rock Mornings, only on 95.7 The Rock.
Beautiful, exciting, wonderful new world.
A cockroach living in your nostril. Now that's just nasty. Add in some haven't pooped for 30 days.
Poop is raining from the ceilings. Poop.
And sprinkle in some hashtag Florida Man for flavor.
Florida man.
Florida man.
Florida man.
Florida man. Florida man.
Florida man.
Florida man quits his Burger King job, steals all of their chicken nuggets.
It's bad news.
Bad news.
With happy music.
Let's rock.
I think hashtag Florida Man is too nice of a term for this guy. Something a little bit more along the lines of hashtag Florida scumbag.
Okay, what's this guy do?
This is rocket ship to Mars. Don't get to live with the rest of us in society. It's borderline bury him under the prison, in my opinion. This is out of Kissimmee, Florida. A man arrested after allegedly slamming a small dog onto the railing of a balcony and then a concrete floor after it apparently peed and pooped on a rug in his apartment. Sheriff Marcos Lopez announcing the arrest of Marco Zuluaga being charged with cruelty to animals. Deputies say the incident took place the day after Christmas at the apartment complex where this man lives. Management at the apartment complex providing deputies with a video of the abuse that took place earlier in the day. The disturbing video showing the man walking out of the apartment with his dog, a 1-year-old puppy named Lily.
I was just going to say, so it was his dog. I wasn't sure.
Out of view of the camera, he allegedly slammed her into a railing, think of like a staircase, and then appeared to contemplate throwing her off the third-story balcony of the apartment building as well. Then re-entered the frame, violently threw her over his shoulder onto the concrete floor, the force causing the dog to bounce off the concrete. The sheriff said, quote, "The amount of force he uses is disgusting, disturbing, unacceptable. It's a miracle he didn't kill that dog.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It breaks our heart to see this. Animals have feelings, and they should never be treated like this. Nobody should be treated like this." This guy apparently told the deputies he threw the dog because she pooped and peed on the rug. Lily taken to the vet by the animal control. She was found to have a dilated pupil in her left eye and deep tissue bruising on her underbelly. She is, however, expected to make a full recovery. The man in question arrested for animal cruelty and booked into the jail.
No longer can have that dog, right?
The sheriff said, quote, "If we could have charged him with anything else, trust me, we would have." As part of his pre-release agreement, the sheriff said the man ordered not to have any pets in his possession.
Yeah, I bet.
Also adding, quote, "Lily is safe from harm and will never return to that monster." Again, rocket ship to Mars. You don't get to live with the rest of us. Dude, you know how many times my dog has pooped and peed inside my house in the last 3 weeks alone?
Yes.
Yeah, it's frustrating. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. But you don't, like, throw the dog.
Well, he shouldn't be a pet owner.
Yeah.
Obviously, he
shouldn't be a human being living in society. Maybe. Elsewhere in Florida, hashtag Florida woman accused of committing fraud against an elderly person. Takia D. Jones, arrested earlier this week, charged with fraudulent use of credit cards, criminal use of fictitious personal identification information, and exploitation of an elderly person for less than $20,000. All these things have quantifiers, obviously. A report from the Riviera Beach Police Department says that the son of the victim, who is also the power of attorney for his mother, manages all her stuff, filed the report in November of several unauthorized charges that have been made on his mother's credit cards totaling about $2,500. Transactions made at retail clothing stores, restaurants, utility companies, right? Got to pay them bills. During the investigation, discovered that Jones had used the victim's credit card at a tattoo shop to get a belly button piercing.
So she befriended this elderly woman? Is that?
I think that she is working for the person, like a elderly care human being.
Got it.
Yeah, the report also notes that Jones allegedly made payment with the victim's credit card information via the Apple Pay app. The employer of Jones confirmed with the police department that Jones began working for the victim back in October. Stated the company had a policy prohibiting aides from accepting gifts or using their clients' funds for personal reasons, which apparently didn't stop Jones from doing so.
Sounds like it.
Once the son informed the employer of the transactions, Jones was removed from working for the victim. Jones admitted to law enforcement during an interview that she used the victim's credit cards because she was experiencing financial difficulties and did not have any money. She's going to have a lot less money now that she also doesn't have a job.
To get that piercing, she didn't have enough money to make that happen.
Bill pay, gotcha.
Shopping and
belly button piercing, that's not financial hardship. Nice try, though. Elsewhere in the bad news with happy music, have you heard of Lily Phillips? You got younger people around you all the time.
I do.
You probably hear about some of these trendy things. This is a little more adult, but Lily Phillips is a very popular British OnlyFans entrepreneur and a owner of an Airbnb in London is apparently furious after discovering that his property was used by OnlyFans star Lily Phillips to host a controversial stunt where she slept with 101 men in a day. And I guess the dudes were like lining up outside, hanging out down the street, full view of other people that live in the neighborhood, parents and kids and parks and dogs and birds chirping and sun shining. And
they're
these
just
dudes are just waiting to get up on top of this lady in her Airbnb that she rented out from this guy.
So it's this guy's Airbnb, and he's saying, hey, this is a place where I want families to come rent, and now this has happened.
Well, that's the other thing too, right? As it's not so much the one-day event, right? Okay, whatever. But now, how am I going to rent out my Airbnb to anybody? They're going to come in here and be like, yeah, I don't want to stay in the place where she banged all these dudes. Phillips stated that she has no regrets.
I'm sure.
About sleeping with the 100 men in one day. Plans to repeat the stunt, this time involving 10 times the number of men. So, yay. Got to have life goals, I guess. Good for you.
1,000 in a day, then?
I don't know. But apparently she's also facing an Airbnb ban. Once the property host learned about the hour-long session, they told the outlet that they told the news station there they didn't know anything about it until after the OnlyFans star had left. Said, we have been made aware of this now. Unfortunately, we did not know anything about what she had done in the flat, and there was no sign of anything in the flat when she left. Well, that's good. At least she cleaned up after that big mess. You got to assume there's a lot of messy surfaces and stickiness.
All of those people coming and going through his property.
She also seems to have violated the house's rules on the maximum number of guests allowed by inviting over 100 people.
I was wondering about that, too.
Now facing a potential ban from Airbnb after she used the rental for a sex stunt without informing the homeowner.
Well, I'm assuming she doesn't want to do it at her place because then she's inviting...
Then buy an F-pad on the beach somewhere and do your stunts there.
Well, she's going to have to now if she's trying to...
Renting out this poor guy's $1 million luxury Airbnb.
Well,
bang all these dudes.
Gotta look good in the video.
I guess. Yeah, you can't rent that out afterwards, right? People are going to want to know. What the hell happened
You're going to have to really sanitize. It's going to be you're going to have to
you got to get one of those.
Prove some sanitation.
You got to get one of those robots that comes in with the UV rays and all that stuff and like.
All the steps you took to make it. Yeah.
Speaking of robots.
Yeah.
This is terrifying. AI, of course, all over the place. We still don't know where those drones are coming from, but we're getting AI surgeries. AI robots are learning how to do surgeries by watching videos.
I'm sure they are.
They're also looking for Sarah Connor. Artificial intelligence boom already starting to creep into the medical field through the form of AI-based visit summaries and analysis of patient conditions until somebody gets the wrong prescription because the AI robot doesn't know what the hell it's talking about. Now, new research demonstrates how AI training techniques similar to those used for ChatGPT could be used to train surgical robots to operate on their own. I get it, dude. Doctors use computers and all sorts of other gadgetry in there, all that stuff.
Yes, they do.
But I still want the doctor, the guy who went to doctor school for 40 years and is in massive, amount of debt and charges a lot of money to be the one with the sure hand doing the surgery. I don't want the robot.
Well, is it that the robot could be overseen by her or him, the surgeon in charge, and it'd be like an assist, or is this is like you go into a room and that's it? It's just you and a.
Think of like you've probably never seen it. Think of it like. Have you seen Prometheus, the Alien film?
I don't think so.
No. Well, in a lot of these futuristic sci-fi movies, they have like a.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
They have like a pod where you go into the pod and the pod diagnoses what's wrong with you. And in the movie, it looks great, right? She's got this alien in her womb. It's growing. She needs to get it out. The thing detects an anomaly. It cuts it out. It sews her up, gives her the meds, and keeps the alien all trapped inside, right? So it looks great. Yeah, in the movies. In real life,
it depends on the kind of surgery, too.
In the real life, next thing you know, you're missing the lower half of your body because it made too deep a cut. Researchers from Johns Hopkins University and Stanford University built a training model using video recordings of human-controlled robotic arms performing surgical tasks. By learning to imitate the actions on the video, the researchers believe they can reduce the need to program each individual movement required for a procedure. Man, I'm walking right out. I don't want, if I don't see a surgeon, a guy, and a team of experts and a bunch of hand washing going on, I'm walking right out. I'm getting up off the table and I'm walking right out.
I guess it depends on how quickly.
You want a robot dentist going in there?
I don't want a robot dentist, but it depends on the procedure. You know, are you getting to
You want a robot hysterectomy?
No, that's what I'm saying. It depends on the situation.
Wart removal? You want a robot wart removal?
Slipped on the ice and you fell and you need a pin put in your wrist, maybe.
No. I don't want any of that. Next thing you know, that thing's wearing my hand as a hat, a party hat. Hey, guys, look at me. He's in the break room with the other robots. Look at this idiot who came in here to get a wrist thing.
See.
I'm wearing his hand like a hat. No. I'm good with robots and surgical items, anything sharp. Why don't we just give them a gun, too? Hey, go in there and do surgery with a gun. They're so precise. They're robots, right? What could go wrong? No thanks. Bad news, happy music on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We're going to get to our daily check-ins in a couple of minutes, but first, some Smashing Pumpkins.
Rock Mornings, Monday to Friday, 6 to 9. Call.
Hello.
Email.
I tried emailing you.
Text. So many ways to check in with us. Check. We rely on you guys for traffic updates, requests, and all sorts of other stuff.
Check this out.
RockMornings.com is the website where you can find all of our contact information. You can also listen to the program live on the website. Subscribe to our daily podcast. Register to win contests. All right there, RockMornings.com.
Including date night. Make sure you sign up by tomorrow morning for free pizza and movie passes.
Yeah. By the way, Smashing Pumpkins, part of the Winter Classic. I don't know if you saw any of that.
Oh, I didn't.
Hockey at
outside.
Wrigley. Yeah, outdoor. Don't know if you saw that, but. Let's see. Just got a text not too long ago from Sarah. Said, Happy New Year, Brian and Gene. Here's to more rock and less jelly roll. Rock and roll.
I get it.
The jelly in the middle. Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate that. Amen to that. I hear you clucking big chicken. Jim from Kuwait said, I was in the guard tower for New Year's Eve. Said it was pretty quiet. So.
Well, I'm glad it was quiet, but
better than
a lot
the
of
alternative.
responsibility.
I got a text from Dan, our bus driver man, saying Happy New Year. Thank you, Dan. I got to return that text. Also, our good friends Jackie and Keith, who live in Iowa, their beloved dog Rico Suave, passed away not too long ago, and they are avid motorcyclists and are in a veterans motorcycle club. Keith is a military veteran, and they've got the leathers with the patches and stuff. So we had special Rico Suave patches made and sent them to him as a gift honoring Rico Suave. And Jackson said, OMG, you guys. Thank you. You guys are the best. I don't even know what to say.
Oh, that was sweet.
Yeah. So I hope those look good. I want to see pictures after they get put on the
jackets.
Yes. Thank you very much for all the correspondence. Very good to hear from you guys. Hope you have a great rest of your Thursday. We will talk to you tomorrow.